the News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Barris here on a Tuesday. And we're going to talk this morning about Social Security. Some questions that you may have about your retirement benefit, all of that. Jump in if you'd like to join in the conversation. Also, whether or not any of what's happened locally with regard to the tornado. I know some may be wondering, could this affect my benefit? Which, okay, you're going to think that because it means so much to you. But really, when you consider it, what would it affect? Most deposits are direct, so if your mailbox was destroyed by the storm, you don't have to worry about it. I think the vast majority are, except in very rare cases, direct deposit. But let's find out. As far as I know, the home office here in Social Security was not damaged over in Metro Center. Was it, Josh Horn?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. We were not damaged, good. But unfortunately, and some of you may have realized that Metro Center was without power last week, and so we are back open.
Will that affect any of the benefits or how you guys do business?
Yeah, the main thing, we're working hard to kind of catch up with, anything that, I got a whole lot of mail that came in yesterday. I got 4 days of mail that came in yesterday, and so we're going to be sorting that out. So I know some of you may have been sending in documents to get your claims processed and things like that. So we're going to hustle it up today, tomorrow, and try to get that mail out to the technicians so that they can get your claims processed. That would probably be the main thing. And then, of course, just folks that I know you all may have been holding your questions, holding phone calls and visits while we were without power. And so, come on in, but do bring a little bit of patience because we've got a lot of folks coming in yesterday. About 10 o'clock yesterday, everybody realized we were back open, and we started seeing folks pour in. Yeah. And so we've got all hands on deck trying to help everybody out.
And Social Security checks, by the way, I am correct, right? The vast majority are direct deposit. Yeah. And that's direct deposited anyway, even if it was being mailed, but that's all of that stuff is processed DC, isn't it? I mean, does your office actually send out the electronic deposits, or does that come through the bureaucracy in DC?
Yeah, it's actually the Department of Treasury is the one that sends out the checks and does the direct deposit. And like you said, the vast majority nowadays are direct deposit, which means that I think some of the post offices may have been out of power as well. And of course, if your mailbox is destroyed, that can affect it. But thankfully, most everybody is on direct deposit. There are some exceptions. There are some folks that linger out there with the paper check. This is maybe a good reminder or a good reason to go ahead and come on in or give us a call, go by your bank, set up that direct deposit so that we don't have to worry about something major like this or even something minor that may happen that may prevent a paper check from reaching you.
And the last thing that might affect you is some folks, sadly, who had their homes destroyed may have had file cabinets where they kept records and lost their Social Security card. As you know, you're not supposed to carry it in your wallet, so you may have had it in a secure box or something at your home, or who knows, wherever it was. I don't even know where mine is, but I mean, it would have blown away perhaps. So if you need another Social Security card, have at it.
Yeah, and a lot of the times you don't need that physical Social Security card, immediately, but there are some circumstances where, you will need that, and so everybody's situation is a little bit different, but our requirements are still, they're very, very specific on the requirements we have to have to prevent fraud and abuse and things like that with the Social Security cards floating around. So, if you don't have a driver's license, if that was destroyed or lost or something like that, go by and get some doctor records, hospital records with your identifying information on those. That's something that we can use that you should be able to get pretty readily if you can't get your driver's license. Insurance cards, but again, insurance cards may have been lost. And so if you lost everything, sometimes the quickest thing to do is go by your doctor and get some medical records.
Gotcha. All right, listen, as always, we'll take your phone calls. We'll open up the line, 737-7587. If you have questions about the application process, if you're appealing, if you just want to know whether or not you should take early retirement, Social Security or not, the lines are open if you want to jump in. And we'll take those in a moment. But before we do that, I hit you up with all these questions related to the storms. I always like to ask you, is there anything you brought along with you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, again, continuing the theme of the scam calls, they're continuing to come out. It seems like every time we figure out a way or make an announcement on the latest scam calls, they try to do something a little bit different. The most recent scam call has to do with somebody calling you and sounding very official and then saying, press 1 to be connected to your Social Security office and get this corrected. The thing about this is you press 1, you are connected to the Social Security office, but that person is still on the phone listening in.
Oh, I haven't heard this. Meaning, so they have a way to, so they can have you connect. Social Security picks up, and they're listening in, but what are you saying to Social Security?
So you call us, we're going to go through the identifying information. We're going to say, hey, we got to identify who you are, just like anybody who calls in to talk to us. And you start saying,
new.
so, we don't call you, and nobody should call you and say, hey, your Social Security is suspended, you're terminated, you're whatever else. Press 1 to continue. That does not happen. So if you have any suspect, and if you call in and say that, what we're telling folks is hang up and call us back.
And by the way, when they do call you initially, they say, we're calling from Social Security. We have some issues with your account. You need to press 1 so we can go into more details. So then Social Security picks up, and then I guess I would say, all right, what do I need to give you for checking out whether or not my account is going to be active? And you guys, well, maybe your operators now are aware of this possible scam, and that's something like, it's kind of, because I wouldn't know where to go right off the bat on this, asking that operator. Maybe that would be a red flag.
Yeah, we've been talking to our folks saying, hey, if somebody says they told me to dial 1 and I got connected, okay, you stop the conversation, you hang up, call us back directly, and we'll be glad to help you.
That's insane. Listen, I've covered a lot of scams, and we've had several, unfortunately, bogus GoFundMes and this popping up in the wake of the tornadoes, and trying to warn people to be sure about where you're giving. But that's a first for me.
Yeah,
hearing that now they're actually connecting and then able to listen in to get your private information, in which case, what can they get hold of by listening? I mean, your Social Security number they can get. And I know you don't want to give that out, but frankly, a lot of times Social Security numbers, they're stolen. Oh, your identity's... 9 out of 10 times that doesn't happen, So what else can they get that's damaging?
Well, when you call us and we have to verify who we're talking to, we're going to ask you your name, your date of birth, where you were born at, your mother's maiden name, your address. We're going to ask you a whole lot of...
So they can get all this background if they want to create a false identity. They'll have everything in addition to your Social Security number.
Right. So be very, very careful.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a doozy. They just keep getting more sophisticated. We figure out a way to stop it. People are on alert, and then there's something else new. The bottom line is whenever anyone calls you about anything, just hang up. What I mean by anything is anything about your personal information, saying anything about, just do not believe it. It is bogus. Social Security does not call you that way. Right?
Absolutely.
Does not. The sheriff is not going to call you. The IRS is not going to call you, okay? All of those calls, 100% of the time, bogus. 100%. So hang up and do not give it a second thought. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Jack and others, the lines are open, 737-7587. Josh Horn, in the time he's been coming on this program, and I'm proud of this kid, he's not been stumped by any callers. Occasionally, I'll get back to you later, but he's ready to tackle any question you may have about Social Security. And we'll take your calls right after this. It's because you are.